A caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Caldarise is the caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Caldarise, the caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Caldarise, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Caldarise is the caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Caldarise is the caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Caldarise is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop on this fantastic Friday night. I am your host, Michael Caldarise, and welcome everybody. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to be able to pull this off today. Today is my daughter's birthday, and we went to Eco. If you know where that is, if you're in the Ocean County area, that is to me it's always been stellar. You know, so like it is a hibachi restaurant, and to me my favorite hibachi restaurant was in North Carolina. Is it as good as that? No, because they don't have the stuff called white sauce, and I put that shit on everything. But we were at the hibachi restaurant, and dude, they did such a good job. We were in and out of there, was able to pull it off, and me and Rikipedia are able to kick it. But I want to talk about one quick thing. You know, again, I talk about this a lot, man, and you know, I think the good of humanity isn't talked about enough. And we're going to get into conspiracies. We're going to get into a lot of different things, fires, and we're going to get into the bad of humanity. But I think the good of humanity, and look at him, he just comes running in. Hey, buddy, you want to grab him? You could grab him. Go ahead. So Daddy's doing his show, and I have a live audience. My son and my daughter's friend comes running in. Right. So we're at Eco. We're eating dinner right now. And it was just interesting to see because the people next to us were not the same race as us. Right. And the gentleman offers me a one of his side dishes. He's like, yo, man, have you ever had this? I was like, no. He goes, get down on that. You know, and it gave me some food. And we start bullshitting, hanging out. You know, it was you look around the room and it's, you know, all different makes and models of people. And I think one of the things that we lose sight of with all the bad news, with all the bullshit, with all the things that are in our faces, that, you know, the good people and the good encounters don't get talked about as much. And, you know, I really do believe that there's far more good people of every single group. And I mean this for everybody. I go after every single group. There's one group in particular that's you know, got their panties in a bunch at me lately. Well, because you kind of deserve it. But I do think the majority of the people in every group are good. I really do believe that. And some of these stories, like when you have something like that, and then it's funny because his wife goes, I don't want to ask, but I have to. Are you that guy? And guys, I'm going to be honest. I love it, but I don't know how to respond to it. I think I get a little embarrassed when it's said. And I think I get embarrassed because you hear my wife in the background go, oh, Jesus Christ, again, this is going to be everywhere. This is going to be everywhere we go anymore. Thank you, though. Keep it up. I love it. But no, you know, it was just it was a really good, the food obviously was awesome. And I wanted to tell you about that because, you know, this is before like they recognized me or whatever. You know, the dude just said, "Yo, have you ever tried these? Try these." And it's a cool move by you know, a total stranger, because you know how it is. You're sitting hibachi style, so it's four people. You don't know who you're going to be sitting next to. So when you sit next to a group of people that are nice and you can bullshit and it's not uncomfortable and it's very comfortable with people. I think we forget that that's, what this country is all about. But with that being said, I don't have a Mike's Right today. I don't have a monologue because I quite frankly did not have time to pull it all off with everything. So let's waste no more time and bring in Rikipedia. Rikipedia, my man, we are going to, no more nicey nice talk. All right, buddy. I already got that over with. Let's have fun with some conspiracies. And this is where I want to kick it to you, bro, because you are my conspiracy guy, and I love when you make me think. I think my brain is in thinking order. Where would you like to start today? And everybody obviously know Rikipedia. He's been with us before.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me back, Mike. I kind of want to piggyback off of where you just left it, because I also think that there's still good in humanity. I think that you can find that a person can be awesome and kind and giving and generous and super chill, but that what we forget is that there's more of us being like people who see each other, consider each other, than them being the powers that be that are manipulating and controlling this. And there really is, it's becoming more clear, but there really is two definite sides. It's the people against the powers that be, the globalists, the elites, whatever you want to call them. And there's a lot more of us than we realize. But we are just getting throttled right now, man. Like the world's on fire. We watch these media narratives and then we kind of twist it and turn it against each other.
I can tell you, I got throttled today at the hibachi restaurant with the amount of sake this guy was giving me, and I loved it. I loved it. Have you ever been to the hibachi restaurant where they're squirting the sake in your mouth?
Yeah.
Like, I want it to where it's coming out of my nose. He had a double gun it with me. No bullshit. He grabbed 2 bottles of sake and he was firing it in my mouth. That's the only way he overflowed me. I'm swallowing. I will never give up. And that one, I had it coming out, so we had to stop. I couldn't keep up.
I love that. The community eating hibachi style. It's awesome.
So listen, the powers that be that control the sake, I appreciated you tonight.
For sure.
But I do get it. We are being throttled, and there is way more of us, and I really do hope that there's way more chefs that will give you that amount of sake that are out there as well. But dude, so where do you want to start, man? Because we have a lot. The title is Fires,
yeah,
and more
so
fires.
I want to start with that because I view it as an attack against the people. I'm on the side of the people, and I view it as our enemy is trying to attack us. So when we talk about fires, more specifically, we're talking about a couple of huge fires that broke out over the last week. There was an oil refinery in Texas that went up. That was almost like a week and a half ago. But then this week, a giant chicken egg factory in Iowa basically blew up inexplicably. As of now, they still don't know the cause of the fire.
I have something on it here.
Video from overnight showing the massive fire in northern Iowa. This is up the Hawkeye Pride Egg Farm in Corinth in Hancock County. Those flames, even from far away, huge.
A lot of orange there. We're working to learn what we can on how it started and how the efforts were to contain it. But Raleigh Jensen gave us these photos and video that he says he took at the farm. We can see large flames and lots of smoke. Some of the photos were taken before sunset. And Janet Moon-Glavy shared these photos. We can see just how large those flames were. You see the balls of fire and all that smoke. It's unclear if anyone was hurt or what caused the fire, but we'll keep you updated on our KCCI.
So, listen, I got to be honest with you. Listening to that guy, when they kicked it over to him and he's like, there's a lot of orange there.
It's almost like it's not real. It's almost like it's not real to him. Like, you got to think that's one of the largest chicken egg producing factories in the country. That is our food supply. Now, I mean, I don't really know if I'll ever buy the mainstream narrative, reasons for why these things happen. To me, that looks like, right now we're in a war. To me, that looks like there might have been some sleeper agents or something lighting that on fire to try to mess with our food supply chain.
Well, I mean, let's just take the reporting of it, for example. And I get it. This is the style, but that dude didn't report on anything. He just gave you play-by-play. It's like a lot of smoke coming out of the building right now. We got flames. We got orange. We got yellow. We have some red hot flames there. I got to tell you guys, you know what I'm saying? It was all he did was give you the play-by-play. And there's no, hey man, like and I guarantee this news organization never comes back to it, because this is what they do. They'll tell you what's happening. They'll give you the play-by-play of the rundown while it's there, but they don't tell you like any of the details. Now I get it. It's still early as hell and there's no details to it, but they will do that and they'll never follow back up. And I think that's part of where you're going.
Yeah, because they don't want us to be thinking about how we are literally in a battle right now, the people against the powers that be, and they don't want it. They'll put the story out there, they'll dangle it in front of you for a minute, but then they'll, tomorrow there'll be some other news story, and you'll just forget about it without critically thinking and realizing, wait a second, that's a huge problem, because we already have a whole slew of other problems going on right now. So we're probably gonna have oil shortages in the near future because of the conflict in the Middle East. Iran is staying firm in keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed, which supplies a lot of the world's oil, like almost 30% of the barrels in the whole world gets shipped out through that narrow little strait. So I feel like the far eastern world will feel those repercussions before us. Far East being like Southeast Asia, Australia.
So is that why you have is that why you sent me these people in Asia panic buying over here?
Yeah, so that scene is from Cambodia or Thailand?
Thailand, I think, yeah.
Thailand. And even in other regions of Southeast Asia, it's kind of, they're not like locking the people down per se, but Australians are being urged to, try to work from home or not travel, or only travel, when it's necessary, and stay local. And that's how this kind of thing starts. I don't know if if your short-term memory is good, but 6 years ago, we were suggested to, not go here or stay away, and then it became a full-on mandated lockdowns. So I hope that this doesn't.
So my concern is this, and this isn't the first doing the shows that I've been doing. It seems like every year we're talking about major egg plants burning down, multiple. I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago, we had like 5 or 6 of them that caught fire within like a 6-month period of time. You remember this?
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago, right? Where we had it seemed like there was like a pig plant burning down. Then you remember it was like, oh, well, we had all these fires, and this is why eggs are skyrocketing. This is why the prices of foods, and there was always a reason behind it. But it just seemed like these things were going up in flames left and right. And that when you look at it, it's a very, very small percentage of our overall output. But these major farms are major farms. They hit local areas way harder than they hit national areas. You know what I'm talking about? And what do you think the conspiracy is about that, though?
Well, I think that what's generally happening is that as that giant corporations are trying to control not only the seeds but also the land. So they want to force private farmers to just sell to corporations. They want corporate farmers. They want their own, patented GMO, genetically modified organism seeds. They do not want people to be able to be sufficient. They don't want us to be able, they don't want a farmer to be able, to your point, go to his local community and just put on whatever he has for a farmer's market. They want to control what we eat. They want to control our freedom. And unfortunately, when we don't stay aware of land that's being purchased, property, seeds, when we don't listen to the farmers, then we're screwed. Then we're absolutely screwed. That is our food supply. And when I say we're screwed, I mean we're screwed from getting lower prices, natural, actually organic food, because the supermarket's organic stuff is pretty much a scam from the way that the seeds are produced to the way the produce is treated with all the pesticides and herbicides. So the people need to be able to have their own local outlets, their alternative to the giant corporations, and it's just becoming more and more scarce. It's becoming more and more taboo to not go to supermarkets or bow to the giant corporations.
It's interesting. So the follow up on that egg farm, right? The Hawkeye The Hawkeye Pride Egg Farm. And that was what, March 26th, right? So it says casualties. Several flocks of hens were killed in the blaze, while no farm employees were injured. One firefighter was hospitalized. Multiple buildings were destroyed. Firefighters for over 24 departments responded, eventually determined that all structures south of the fire engine's origin were unsavable. As of Friday morning, crews remained on the site. Evacuators to remove the debris and gain access to areas where they're still smoldering or flaming. Wow. The cause of the fire is currently unknown and remains under investigation by authorities. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the most up-to-date information that we have on that.
Yeah.
But that's really, I mean, it just happened yesterday, so I can understand why they don't have much for it.
The bigger fire was a few days ago. There was a giant fire in Nebraska. It took out hundreds of thousands of acres of fertile land.
Yeah. So we have that fire, right? And then let's take some of these shots at night. These are some gnarly shots from this plane right here. Look at this. So this is all from the Nebraska fire that's going on right now. Check out these shots. These shots are absolutely incredible.
It looks like a volcano or something. It looks like lava.
It does, right? That looks like something that, honestly, that picture right there looks like Independence Day when the ship is coming in, there's fire and clouds all over it. Right? It's gnarly as hell. But look at that. I mean, that just gives you an idea of the burn line, what's burning, what's been already burnt. And it's going,
Unfortunately, to your point, this is not anything that's new. It happened a lot 2 years ago, and it seems like every year something gets out of control and we lose, land or some sort of a meat production factory. But
you don't think all of those are conspiracies, though, right?
No, I think that the human error for sure factors in. Sometimes forest fires can start with a flick of a cigarette. So, it really can be anything. The problem is right now the timing of it where, we have this ugly conflict where, apparently we like bombed a school, and then you hear about, that Iran's been waiting for this opportunity and death to America for all these years. And, we don't know, there's no troops on the ground here, but I mean, we're such a melting pot that there could be, they could have had sleeper cells or like undercover agents kind of just waiting on standby that could have kick-started some of these things. You just don't know. You really don't know, but it's just kind of like, oh, how about that timing? The war.
I don't know if I buy that this fire, because if I would think about it, if you were going to do that, you don't burn one. You kind of go for like the buckshot approach. I would coordinate fires in multiple states with egg farms, because that's how you do damage. One's not gonna affect much, But if you do, if we had a fire that was going in multiple states that were all aimed at the food at the same exact time, then you're under attack. That's that to me, that's the way I think about it. The way I think about this, man. What I'm going to look for is to see if food prices go up, and then does the government start blaming these events? Well, we had this massive fire that was in, this area. And so when I see that type of shit, I start thinking, okay, was that fire part of this story? Because you knew that prices were going to go up somehow and you needed it. I believe there's more conspiracy like that, where we're apt to burn shit down of our own so we could keep different narratives alive. And I don't put that past our government to in any way, shape, or form. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's valid. I think that everything that is put out into our the collective consciousness is now able to be used for the agenda of the government. Like, oh, well, this is what we told you what's going on, and now here it is again. Or, oh, well, this happened, and now this is why it happened, and now this is the effect. So what's it called? Like problem, reaction, solution. It's like to control the whole narrative, you have to know the problem, have the reaction planned, and then the solution already ready. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. This stuff is all brand new. I just wanted to kind of bring that up just because it's only one giant egg farm and one field in two different states. let's see what happens over the next couple of days and weeks. You know, maybe when we talk again next Friday or the Friday after, there's something every other day, and then it can be twisted. Okay, hey, wait, maybe I think we are under attack here.
Well, I mean, put it this way: I think we had, with the amount of fires that we had at food producers across the country, it's been a lot. I think something's got to be figured out with these. They can't all be by accident, and they can't all be by some ridiculous. If it is incompetence or human error or all that, I mean, which, listen, I don't put that past humans either. But what are you going to do? Let's get to the chat. Let's see if we have anybody in the chat. Jersey Gabe, Yankee 68 in the chat right now. I don't see much going on in Rumble. And Amen Disker. Amen Disker, been missing you. Haven't seen your chat there, man. She says, hey, and then Mamam 884, love it, says that's a new name. Welcome. Remember, finger blast my like button. They said they want to destroy us quietly. Damn right. Let's see. Oh, nice. We have a nice chat going on. Margaret says, happy birthday to my daughter. Can you believe, dude, they have a 21-year-old, an 18-year-old, and soon to be 1-year-old. It's kind of crazy to say it like that. Teresa Roeder says 1 million acres in Nebraska disrupts entire grain. So let's see, here we go. Disrupts entire grain, meat, and water supply in the U.S. Hawkeye Egg Farm in Iowa caught fire in multiple buildings housing 6 million laying hens?
Yeah, it was a big operation. It was a big operation.
So you're talking 6 million laying hens? That is 2% of the total egg output. Oh, holy shit. We're talking that big of a situation here? Wow. So that's a different story altogether, isn't it?
Well,
Valentino loves busting through and running in. It's hysterical.
I didn't know how much of a percentage of the egg it was. I just heard it was one of the biggest egg factories in the country.
So David says, to control people and to control the food supply. Teresa says, wow, I don't want to. Oh man, this is what bothers me about Facebook. If my thumb goes a little bit too far, it goes flying off. Teresa said she believes it's intentional. Happy birthday to my daughter. And yes, she believes 100% it is intentional. Dude, so 2%, yeah, man.
It's a lot of eggs, Mike.
That's a lot of eggs, bro. It's a lot. And now again, let's see what the narrative is coming out. If egg prices jump and there's another excuse built in behind it, because listen, what I just witnessed at the gas pump it was $5.79 for diesel. Okay. And I'm not going to tolerate it under Trump if I didn't tolerate it under Biden. I cannot do that to myself. I will not have double standards. I don't care what war the president wants to blame it on. I don't care what cause. I don't care any of that shit. I am paying damn near $6 a gallon for diesel, and it's absolutely unacceptable to me. So if I start seeing food prices rise, and then I start seeing the administration blame something, oh, well, we had this, and then we had this. It's always something to blame. Then again, that's when my conspiracy meters are going to start really going crazy. Yeah, but I didn't realize they were that big of an egg farm.
If you ever see the narrative on the news steering people to go to the grocery stores, if they try to not like incite panic, but if they suggest some sort of what's the word, the opposite of abundance, scarcity. If they suggest scarcity, that'll make people panic buy. That's not a good sign.
Well, let me tell you something. Paul Griffin in the chat brings up a lot of good points here. He goes, that's a lot of fried chicken. I believe that's technically called fire roasted chicken. But think about it. How many lost meals really is that if it's 5 million laying hens?
It's a lot.
That's a lot of eggs, man. I had 4 eggs for breakfast. I eat the shit out of eggs. Every morning I have at least 2 eggs.
Oh, eggs are great. Men especially should eat eggs every day, but eggs are great for everyone. Cholesterol,
you eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Sprinkle down my eggs, baby. Devil them up. I do.
I love it.
I'm actually I'm like a prepper, right? So and I try to prepare my body too. So I'm I'm always wary of the parasites. So I'm drinking these tinctures and these teas in the morning, man. It's the smell from it. You would think I put pieces of shit inside of there, but apparently it's good for you. So I'm rocking it.
So this is a great question by Mama. It says chickens reproduce very quickly. How long would you think it would take to replenish the 2%? Ooh, I don't know. You know why? Because you got to think about it like this. And I'm gonna, that'd be an interesting question to ask, like a AI or some shit, right? But if you lose 5 million hens, you could replenish it. But aren't you still chasing the 2 million loss? Because you have to replace these hens. How long do you get out of them, right? So you have a shelf life. So you need to have new ones coming in for the old ones going out on a constant basis. So that means you would have to reproduce over and above what you're reproducing already, 2 million more chickens. Right? Am I thinking about that correctly?
Yeah, because you need a short time period just to catch up to what you lost before you think about, getting the numbers back. No, it's definitely not good. I'm also concerned about the Nebraska fires because I don't really know. I mean, I think it's corn and wheat mostly that they're growing out there. But when a whole land burns too, that messes with like the ecosystems and the flora, the fauna, the animals. So that has all kinds of repercussions. We'll see. What I'm more concerned with. Something else that happened recently was another yet to be explained situation, but a lot of parts of Orange County and San Diego just completely blacked out the other night, just out of nowhere. Grids went down and no one knows why.
So you ready for this? That's a great question. Creating a flock of 2 million egg-laying chickens in the United States takes approximately 20 to 24 weeks, about 5 to 6 months from the hatching of the chicks to the point of lay when they start producing eggs consistently. Right? So, I mean, technically speaking, if you had the chickens that were laying, but the problem is you lost how many reproducers as well. There were 2 million egg-laying chickens cuts in, how fast. But, okay, so, I mean, it's not, what's that? A 5-month process? Okay, so it's 5 months worth of
operation.
It takes. So to answer your question completely, Mama, it would be 5 months to replace those chickens, that 2%. If we started tomorrow, which they're obviously not going to do, right? So those are then you have to find a place to house the chickens, which then has to be built. So that's not going to be put online for years. Right? Especially with some of the regulations. Are they going to be able to just throw up a new building? They have to rip it down. Of course, it's going to be contaminated. Everything has to be cleaned. The whole thing has to be destroyed. So you're probably talking about that facility, 2% of that facility, to get that facility back up and running to be able to hold the 2% of chickens. I think you're probably talking 2 years, right? From start to finish with the chicks, permits. All the testing, all the environmental testing, everything that they're going to have to go through. Yeah, you're probably that facility is probably not going to open back up for 2 years if they started tomorrow. So I think that's unless somebody else has a place to house them over the in the immediate future. If other places can take it, the thing I think you should be looking at this point now is who stands to gain. Who has the ability to capitalize on the 2 million chickens they just took out? I see it more like that, competitors killing each other. I don't know, but you're right. It's all control, right?
Yeah. And, in capitalism comes a dog-eat-dog world, so I guess that makes sense. But we all suffer when it's all of our food, like we shouldn't be so selfish and closed-minded and thinking about money instead and competition. And especially right now because man, I don't know. The world's going crazy. Everything's already expensive enough, and I don't know. We'll see the implications of this in the supermarkets, or we won't.
Teresa says prices jump, or we have a supply shortage. I see a shortage. Well, listen, eggs are a big thing, right? So you're going to see them again. Eggs just came down. I think we were at what were we? We were at Costco, and I think they were $10.99 for 5 dozen. Like the big. We get the big racks of eggs, because we go through a lot of eggs in this house. But my wife was saying, like, what was it, a year ago? I think it was that was over $17, $18, I think, for that same pack. So, egg prices have definitely come down. There's certain things that have come down, but if they go back up, if they shoot back up to $18, you're going to see that fire was really big on our supply. Put it this way: 5 million egg laying chickens. That's, I mean, you got to guess, are they laying an egg a day? Like my wife's grandfather's chickens. So if that's the case, let's say they're not all laying an egg a day. Let's say you're getting 4 million eggs a day out of that place. That's a lot of fucking eggs you're losing out on. 4 million eggs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, wow. That's absolutely insane. Where we want to go next, buddy? How about this? This is a story I wanted to toss by you before you go out. How about this? Have you heard of the Meta suit? Meta is found guilty and liable of social media addiction. Okay, you ready for this dumbass story? You have Americans are addicted to teens, right? So a Los Angeles case involves a 20-year-old woman who said she became addicted to the apps at a young age because their attention-grabbing design. The plaintiffs in the Los Angeles proceeding focused on platform design rather than content, making it harder to compare, or making it harder for companies to avert liability. And yeah, so sorry, that was just a bigger version of that. So there you go. So Meta was sued and they lost in court to this 20-year-old who said their product made them addicted to it. And she sued for damages. I think it was $10 million in damages she got.
I'd like to do that too, man. I do spend a good amount of time on the internet seeking knowledge, but I also am distracted by bullshit. I'm not going to lie, so.
Well, if you're addicted to something, is it your fault or is it the product's fault?
At the end of the day, it should be your decision that is under your control. You can try to blame, but it always comes back to us, man.
So to me, there's different things, right? So if I'm addicted to something because I'm eating something and they put some type of addictive poison in there or substance where I'm being poisoned into being addicted to something, like they used to put Coke, they said, in soda, in the original Coca-Cola, if that's a true story. If that's happening, that's fucked up. But if it, like smoking at this point, if you smoke cigarettes, I think you know the harm that cigarettes do to people, right? So if you smoke cigarettes, remember Joe Camel? Oh, you can't have the camel on the box because he's the one that's making you smoke. It's the cartoon camel that's appealing. Yeah, okay. To me, it's the same garbage as that. I don't know how finding these companies liable for people wanting to use their product more and more and more and more and more. I think that's what it's designed to do. I find this to be fucking insane. Absolutely insane.
Well,
and to tell you the truth, they should sue the parents. Facebook should sue the parents for allowing the kid to get fucking addicted to it in the first place.
It's valid. It's valid. We're in an age where there's like iPad kids. These kids are just growing up on screens and they tweak out. They absolutely crash out when they don't have access to their like phone or tablet, some sort of device.
But whose fault is that? Is it the tablet maker? Is it the person that gave the people what they wanted? Or is it the people using and overusing what they wanted?
So the techniques that are used by these companies who produce the apps and the games, it's a little bit devious what they have used against us, because they know they've learned about the human brain and the different pleasure chemicals, serotonin, dopamine, and even oxytocin, and they know how to get that little dopamine rush and release and hook based on their products, using the lighting, the sounds, the quickly changing screens, the reward systems on either the games or the way that the app works. So it's definitely, there's some trickery, there's some sorcery involved. These Black Mirrors, they are designed to control our attention.
But we willingly give them all the information.
Yeah.
Like we input everything. I'm the one that's out here. And if you notice, I don't do a lot of putting my kids on online. I'll do a little bit of it. I'm not the one that's like, hey, let's do every birthday celebration. I make giant posts for it. I've never been that type of person. I'll say it in the show, wish her happy birthday, tell everybody about what I'm doing. Cause this is, like I said, I view the people that watch as family. But I try not to put like overdo my kids on social media. You know what I'm saying? Because they do. I mean, I don't want to give up all of their privacy at the same time, because I'm giving up my privacy when I comment, when I do these things. We know we're the product. If you get on these apps and the app is free, they're selling you. And they're learning you. And a lot of the times these algorithms, they know people better than these people know themselves. That's the weird part about it. Have you ever thought of something and then got advertised to? Like, you didn't even say it. You just thought something, and then in your thoughts, you started getting that advertisement. Ain't that some shit? Because you know right now, if I said like, well, for whatever reason, dick pills is on every single commercial. But if I said like condoms, everybody now is going to watch. If you're watching this on your phone, you're going to get condom commercials. Yeah. I guarantee it.
Well, let me ask you this. As a father, what did you do about getting the smart devices into your family? Did you have any?
So if you would ask me, my kids were with it. See, we were new with this, right? But we were, Vincent and Victoria they complained still to me that they were the absolute last out of all their friend groups to get the phones. I'll tell you this: when my mom got TVs for the kids to put the TVs in the rooms, I didn't like it, but it was a Christmas gift, and what are you going to do, right? But it just seemed like they were in their room a lot. Now, there's downfalls to it and there's positives to it. Like, if you think about it, my kids are both well adjusted. They're both good students. One's graduating college, the other one's graduating high school. They're both very smart. So, I don't think it was a negative effect on them. It's just, I think they're comfortable in their room and they wanted to watch what they wanted to watch, wanted to do. And we still did things as a family and shit. But no, I'll tell you this: Valentino is not going to be, absolutely not. He's not going to be an iPad kid, because, I don't think it's going to reward these kids just interacting with this technology anymore, because technology it's going to get weird. AI is starting to, you're going to be forced to interact with it anyway. So they're going to understand how to deal with it. I think what kids today have to understand how to do is how to be kids and live life outside. Because otherwise, dude, we're going to be in a very weird place. And I get it. Like, my kids, when my kids started going to school, it was the start of this like smartphone revolution shit, and Google, YouTube and all that started taking off. And that's what they grew up under. And I think it took people, especially like me, to go through it a little bit to say, okay, we definitely needed to fucking dial back on that. If I had to do one thing over, I would definitely have a phone limit, an hours use limit on the phone.
Nice.
But we never started it. How do you put a phone limit on a 17-year-old girl? Yeah, good luck with that. My daughter's hard-headed, but I don't think it's ever hurt her. She gets up, does what she has to do, and she goes to work, and they're both responsible. And
I think you have the right approach to it, because it's not like you're not completely ignorant to it, and you're also not trying to be all crazy strict about it either. You have to be realistic.
It's called parenting, bro. It's like, everyone wants to blame everything else, but what we don't do is we don't sit back and really point the finger at where the hell it belongs. That's really at the parent. So I have raised my kids to really think similar to how I do. Number one, you don't want to be fake, but my kids for the most part don't give a shit what you say about them. They're confident in who they are. They're mentally strong kids. They're not easily influenced kids. So I don't have like followers. We're not a follower family. They're independent thinkers. They think for themselves. They grew up being challenged by me, like, to think and to use their heads, So I think it's that. I'm not saying I did everything right, because I certainly didn't. But both of my kids are some hard-headed, tough-minded kids, regardless what you want of what you're going to do. And like I said, I don't think they're very easily influenced. They think over things. Can they be influenced? Of course, we all can. But I definitely taught them how to use their brains. And there's, far too many times, like you said, you have parents that just want to stick their kids in front of these screens. And it goes to the things that you're talking about, Rick, because the more people that we have that are just NPCs, the non-player characters that are just going on, getting along, that's how these conspiracies go, and nobody calls them out on them. Because you have all these people that are just addicted to whatever the next thing is. And it's interesting how easily the human mind is swayed. I definitely think there's like the addiction thing, yes, is real, but I think the mind control thing is a totally different. If you wanted to go at these Facebooks and all these for mind control, I'd be more apt to believe it that you're controlling people's minds through manipulation than, making you addicted to it.
Yeah, there's some crazy technology out there that I
Crazy.
think is being utilized. Even stuff that's, I would say, harder to prove, even though there's been declassified CIA documents where in the screens, in our screens on our computers and phones, it's it can flash a low frequency light frequency into your face. It can be used to take pictures. It can be used for like facial recognition and mapping. And also, information travels through light. So you can actually program someone's mind through subliminally through the lower vibration on the light spectrum. And, there's that's something that I don't think we're going to see any lawsuits about that. We just have to collectively as a society realize that shit's getting real. We need to wake up and step up. And although it's fun and easy to just, scroll and swipe and get distracted by news feeds and games, we are the shit's hitting the fan, man. So we can't just keep clicking buttons away and just watch the world go in a direction that it's currently going.
No, we have to get involved, dude. I got to tell you something. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I would much rather be doing a show, talking about things, exposing things, asking questions, having people tell me their stories and flushing everything out and doing this than sitting around wasting my life. That's the truth. But by all means, everybody that's sitting around wasting your life watching me, I appreciate it. Figure the hell out of my life, but I really don't. No, I'm just joking around with that. I don't think you're wasting your life doing so. You know what I'm talking about. I think there's people that don't want to be involved. They don't want to be informed. They don't want to think. They just want to pretend that they're in their own little world and they don't give a shit about anything else around them. And I think that's got to change. We have Yankee 68 in the chat says, looked up tires on Google and all of a sudden I'm getting tire ads on Facebook. Yeah, it's nonstop. Teresa says, I know that I'm watching the Caltrop with Mike Caldarise and Rick. Damn right, man. Love it. Sean says, my daughter is glued to a screen. My son, limited on the screen, works on dirt bikes and quads. I grew up without the internet. Yeah, man. So that's interesting like that, man. Well, we're going to see. I'm going to try to keep Valentino off. Mariah says there's so many socially awkward kids and teens and young adults now. Keep the kids limited with all these devices and online. Stop blaming other companies for what we do or don't do. I totally agree. She always brings so much sense into the conversation. We always need somebody to blame. We always need a villain. We always need a scapegoat. There's something weird about humans that we need that. We have to be able to say there's a problem and here that's the root of your problems is that person over there. It's like the bullying stuff. Did they solve bullying with all the anti-bullying campaign bullshit in school? No, we didn't solve bullying. And now all of a sudden it's online bullying to where they can't police that. It's outside of school. What are you going to do? Okay. So the bullying hasn't stopped. The bullying has morphed. And if you ask me, you still have the same amount of bullying or any of that stuff and nasty comments. I hear it all the time from my kids and their friends. So none of this stuff is stopped, no matter how much you want to try to do it. The more you try to stop kids from doing this type of stuff, the more you really create them doing it. Instead of teaching kids how to deal with bullies. Because do we really think bullies just stop? Right now, an entire community is being bullied by another community while being called names by that community. Right now, you have that happening in Jersey, in California, in Michigan. You have it happening all over the country. Right now, you have countries bullying other countries. You have bosses bullying employees. You're going to have to deal with bullies one way or the other. So we don't teach the kids how to deal with something. No, we want to point a finger. It's like we live in an excuse nation. It's the excuse Olympics, and everybody has an excuse. And it's who can out-excuse everybody is really what this world's made of anymore.
Unfortunately, accountability is a lot more rare than it should be. Common sense is uncommon, and people owning up to their shit is actually is also uncommon. Men and women, everyone's guilty. And where that becomes a real problem is if the fucking grid goes down, man. If we just all lose power and you're not friends with any of your neighbors, if you just been in your own little isolated little bubble, scared of everybody, then what are you going to do? We need to be connected to the people around us.
So what happened here? What happened in California? Let's look at this one. So why is California going dark? What's the story behind that?
So Ocean County and San Diego, just hundreds of thousands of homes just went black inexplicably for no reason. We still actually don't even know why. What news that came out a couple weeks ago is that two of the main targets of, if the war in the Middle East was going to come to American soil, it would be New York City or, oddly enough, Los Angeles. And then the guy who bought the World Trade Center in 2001, a couple months before 9/11, he also bought one of the biggest skyscrapers in Los Angeles just recently. So now that made the conspiracy theorists kind of made their radars fling up and say, okay, wait, this guy's at it again. And now we're already in a war. Like the first one was a war, or basically started the war in the Middle East and Afghanistan. And now this guy's getting his fingers on another building again in Los Angeles. What's going on with Los Angeles? And then, a week and a half later, we get all these, just a random blackout. And I've been kind of preparing for the world to go dark for a little while. All I can do is just get enough like food and water and some supplies and like propane gases and like charcoal fire grills, so I can just sustain
you're a mild doomsday prepper. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
A mild doomsday prepper. Yes. No bunkers. I ain't got no bunkers. I don't have like a gun locker. I got slingshots and crossbows and machetes, but I don't have, I'm not strapped. I wish I was.
could picture you coming out of your bunker and be like, oh my Lord, it's a Negro. What movie is that from? Do you know what movie that's from?
No, is it? No.
Oh, dude, that was with
Good Morning Vietnam. No.
No. Oh, fuck. I could think of it right now. You have the dude who played the whale. Oh my God! Put it in the chat. Somebody knows what movie I'm talking about. Put it in the chat. It's Christopher Walken was his father, and he comes out and they went into their bunker during the Cold War. They thought there was going to be a nuke, and he never seen anybody. He just learned about them. So when he got up and saw his first black person, he was like, "Oh my Lord!" Brandon Fraser. Yes, Justin. What was the name of that movie? That was Brandon Fraser. What was the name of that movie? It was not Blazing Saddles. No, it was definitely not Blazing Saddles, David.
Saddles, funny though.
Oh, man. So let's see. David Silverstein says crashed big on 9/11. Silverstein crashed big on 9/11. What does that mean?
Yeah. Silverstein is the guy. Larry Silverstein bought the World Trade Center towers 1, 2, 5, and 7, and then 1, 2, and 7 collapsed, and he made like $3 billion on the insurance.
Was he the one that changed the insurance like 6 months prior or something like that, 4 months prior?
Yeah, and he added terrorist. He added like a terrorist clause in the insurance policy.
Well, 9/11. I mean, you want to talk about a conspiracy? We could get into blast from the past. That's right, blast from the past. And Justin put it in the chat. 100% blast from the past. Let's see if anybody Encino Man. No, it it was not Encino Man. That was a great movie though. Alex Anika. I love these new names, man. Hey, all you guys, I appreciate it. Share the hell out of this and finger the fuck out of my like button. My like button loves being fingered on a Friday night. Don't make it gross. Don't be sick in your own heads and
There's
turn
consent.
that into a sexual thing. It's consensual. You're taking the tip of your finger and you're touching my like button, and you are really turning it on when you make it just light up. You see that? Change the color of that son of a bitch. And if you want, take that little pinky finger the hell out of that share button, and that would help me out. Honestly, you guys sharing this is the best possible thing that you could do for me. Besides, hey, hold on, let's put it up. Let's toss this out there. And if you want to donate, you could 100% donate. If you have Zelle, go ahead and freeze that. Put it in. It is M Caldarise or fucking Christ, Mike C at centercutmedia.com. And if you need my last four, send me a message. 2418 if you need my phone number. But typically you could put in my what do you call email and do that. But I appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. But what do you think of that, bud?
The way that all this stuff ties in, like with all, like, you see fires and blackouts and oil and war and shortages, there has been an agenda that has written a long time ago. It's called Agenda 2030. And the goal is, this is like the New World Order type shit. This is the goal is where they want us living in like 15-minute smart cities and everything.
You own nothing and be happy, you fucking peasant son of a bitch.
Yeah, everything rented, everyone getting like a universal basic income. No one really traveling on their own. You use public transportation or like electronic vehicles. Everything digital money. Everything tracked and taxed. That is where we're being steered towards, and it's no longer a theory. This is and I think the theory, the conspiracy theory about it is that it's not going to happen in 2030. The conspiracy theory is that it is here. It is happening now. We are seeing all this chaos in the world. We're seeing our resources and food supply and water under attack because they want us to be culled and they want us to be controlled. So that is where
fear. If you think of it, they want us to live in fear, and I really do think like so. David says yes, insurance payouts in the billions, but if you think about what happened, 9/11 started, if you ask me, the fear-based society and the control-based society, and what started happening. We started living in the possibility of being attacked by Muslims any second of the day. We had to take our fucking shoes off at the airport and all this happy horse shit. And then what happened? Then you got primed all for COVID. And what did they do under COVID? It's funny because New Jersey locked us the fuck down. I mean, I got yelled at walking into stores by regular ass people, because I was walking into stores and I was militant. I was way like anti-mask. Okay. Very anti-mask. But the same exact state that forced people that they couldn't leave their homes and they had to wear a mask while they were taking a shit have now just made laws that ICE agents can't wear masks while they're doing their jobs, and they've been doxxed and attacked, right? So it's the same. It's all of this stuff that you watch one after the other, and it's more and more freedoms that are being taken. But it's also, how can we scare these people into giving up more? We got to scare them into this and then scare them into that and make them live in a constant state of, let's get scared here, outraged here, scared here, fear this, fear that, fear these people, fear those people. Those people suck. And, we don't live that. It's like what we're being told by these jerk offs is more powerful than how we're actually living. Because the fact is, we don't, like, everyone's so fearful of Iran. We haven't been killed. They have not attacked us in our home country. Iran is the last fucking thing I'm afraid of, but people are like, oh my God, they're going to blow us up with nukes. No, if anything, they're going to blow up the Middle East. Fucking I don't fucking care. Like, and I'm not saying I don't care because I don't care about their lives. I'm saying I don't care because that's not my immediate problem. Yet somehow these people are able to make people think that they are a bigger issue than some of the local things that are going on or some of the actual problems that we have. Because like you said, dude, there's real issues going on in this country. Like a egg farm burning. To me, that's important. Now, are we going to, are we going to do everything possible and get everybody involved? Like the Amish, like, are we going to bring in 9 teams of Amish people to rebuild this chicken farm in a day and a half and get them back up and cut all the fucking red tape and say, let's go. We got to, no, you know, that's not going to happen because we don't fight that hard for America. We will fight for Israel. We'll fight for Ukraine. We'll fight for everybody else but the American citizen. And I'm getting so tired of it. Honestly, it's gross.
We forgot about each other. We forgot about our power through each other, and we forgot that this country was founded by people getting pissed off about way less than what we're getting taxed right now. So I don't know. I really hope that people can way less, dude. It's ridiculous. It's actually unbelievable if you look at the numbers, the percentage at least of what they got mad at, why did the Boston Tea Party happen, why that war started. But we're definitely at like a critical stage in American society because if we don't start seeing American first policies, how, like the whole COVID thing, I think it was like a litmus test. It was like a how far can we push these people before they actually do anything? So we can't just be allowed to be bent over and just have more shit shoved up in us. We have to stand up soon enough, man.
Yeah, how much can you fit your ass? I mean, I know I can't.
Me, not much. I wasn't wearing any masks, man. I was in another country. I was in a communist country. I was in the south of Vietnam when COVID started, January 2020.
I took a fingertip once, and I was not happy with that. Let's put it that way. AJ Johnson says, so you're saying I could take – wait. So you're saying is that I could take my mask off while watching the show. No, what I would prefer you to do, AJ, is double mask. Be a deucer. Be the deucer while you're doing that with me. Yeah, dude, 100%. And then when you're done with that, spit in it and rub one off. That's how. Then you clean up with it. I mean, that would be the best. Listen, I like multitasking, so go ahead and do that. Teresa said, then the sleeper cells will receive the signal, and boom, chaos. Well, listen, I mean, we do have. If you don't know who's coming in your border, we definitely don't know who's here. Do I want to believe that our government knows who's here and is in control or has an idea where the sleeper cells are at? I would love to think that, but it seems like we always know about the school shooters that are all on some type of medication, some type of antipsychotic medication. And they always know about them and they can't do anything about them. It seems like everybody that goes on to do mass massacre things, the government has talked to or is known about every single one of them. So you're right. I mean, when do the sleeper cells get activated in this country? When do they? Because I think that's I think that's coming. Justin Della says they will never hold up at federal court. One, it's like saying they can't wear hats if it's cold, and 2, it creates a real danger to federal agents, especially ones who work in the undercover capacity. You're 100% right, but why is the New Jersey government doing that? Our electric bills are skyrocketing. All this stuff is taking place. We have school funding. So my schools, again, brick schools, Justin, you know this. We have to lay off more people and we have to tax more. So we have to tax the people more and the people get less services and our kids get less services. This is happening year after year after year after year. And again, we have our school board that's sitting there going, we have no fucking money. Where's all the money? So Brick is one of these towns where we just give the state money, and they just take it and they give it out to everybody else because they deem us rich. And I'm honestly getting sick and tired of it, man. But they're not focused on taking care of our kids. They're not focused on taking care of my daughter while she's in these schools or my son who's going to be in the schools. No. They're more worried about the illegals here that cost 6 times more to educate than your student. And guess what? Your property taxes are paying for it. Most of them don't own houses. They rent houses. And yeah, maybe is some of that money going to the property tax? Maybe. A lot of them, how many are on Section 8? How many of them are on some type of tax credit system? Because you know it's a ton. I don't know. Sorry, got me crazy. Got me going crazy, Rikipedia.
Nah, you ain't crazy, man. Unfortunately, it's frustrating. It's not crazy. It's frustrating.
So AJ Johnson says done. That's what I talk. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. That's getting it done. So you already wore 2 masks and finished yourself, dude. Now smile on your face, get a drink, and have a good time. So, dude, listen, we are right about 9 o'clock. Have you started your page yet, or what? Are we still talking?
I am in the process of a move. This is my last time I'll be visiting you in this setting. I'm moving from Tom's River back to Brick, actually.
Okay.
Going to be a closer neighbor of yours. My life's been a little crazy over the last couple weeks, but that's no excuse. It's my own fault. I have a bit of a defeatist mentality. I let some of the narratives of the current, world weigh me down, and I've let that stop myself from. I filmed some stuff, but from editing and posting, I don't know. I'm just letting it get me down, and I know I can't be doing that. I know. Because all hope is
put it this way,
yet.
you got to just do, man. If I could tell you one thing, I could tell you this. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You don't know what people are going to like. You don't know what people are not going to like. If you guess at what people like or what they're not going to like, I think you're going to be wrong. So in situations like this, dude, I think you got to do and then stay doing. And stay consistent with it and just keep going, keep doing it. It's like anything else, man. If you want to do something, just fucking do it. And what people say, that what people think, you can't be focused on any of that. You got to do it for yourself. And if it's something that you want to do, you do, and that's really what it is. I try to get away from, listen, this shit's already hard. The chances are already against you. So what do you have to lose? You don't have anything to lose.
True.
The truth of the matter is you only have anything to gain. And I'm going to give you a really quick, this is the God's honest truth, bro. And maybe I'll leave everybody on this for this weekend. And I'm going to tell you something. I've been doing this now for 5 years, doing some type of podcast. Okay, Rick? It went from Caldarise Unleashed, where it was just a radio show kind of. I got some people listening, but it wasn't like a serious thing, right? Then I went to the 2 Mics Live. That was a serious thing, and everyone kind of knows how that worked out with my jerk off co-hosts. And then that ended. And when that ended, it was like, fuck, now I got to start all over. But with that, I definitely built up the clips. I started building up the people that were watching. So I knew I had a built up base for 5 years of doing this, from Caldarise Unleashed to the other ones. But still, I get to the Caltrop. And you watch the Caltrop go, and you watch the views, and it's slow going for a while. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, you're not getting a lot, and the shows are getting, nobody in the Facebook chat and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden one day you get people, and then you get people, then you get people, and then you do a video and that hits, and you do another one and it hits, and things start. And it's the ones I didn't think were going to happen. It was the ones I didn't think I wanted to do. And if I didn't do all those little things leading up to it, I wouldn't have been in a position to respond to Tyler when he came. You know what I'm saying? If I talked myself out of doing, like, even like Wednesday, I didn't want to do the show. I was exhausted. I was fucking exhausted. But I was like, dude, you have to do it. You have to stay consistent. Get your ass up and fucking do it. Because if you don't do the little things like that, when the big things come, you're not going to be in the position to even accept them. So that's the thing. So, like, to tell you the truth, if your attitude is defeatist to where you don't even want to get going, then you've already lost, right? So you're talking yourself out of wins. Don't do that, bro. Let the loss happen. If you lose, you lose. At least you played the fucking game. Yeah, I'd rather play the game and lose than not play the game and lose. At least you're playing, bro. You never know, bro. It's this thing that, when you watch these kids, if you've ever coached kids in Little League, there's kids that will watch the ball go through because they're afraid to swing the bat. And then once they figure out that, fuck it, I'm just going to start swinging, they may swing and miss a lot, but they hit the ball sometimes. And when you hit the ball sometimes, when you actually hit the ball after missing so much, hitting that ball feels 20 times better than if you always just hit the balls. You feel where I'm getting at, dude?
Yes.
You have to put yourself in the position to where you're swinging the fucking bat. It's like you miss every shot you don't take. You miss every pitch you don't swing at. All those things, dude. You have to throw the pitch. You have to swing at the fucking bat. You just got to do it, man. You got to get up. Everyone, if I can leave everybody with that message, fucking do. When people say, "Oh, Mike, how do you do? Like, how do you go from being a Mason to doing this to going to the here?" And because I'm not sitting around watching a lot of television. I am preparing for the show. My entire day revolves around my two businesses and my family, and that's all I'm focused on. I'm trying to focus on Center Cut Media, Caldarise Masonry, and my family. And I'm not going to sit around. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to oversleep everything. I want to live life, man. So just do it, bro. And if you want, otherwise you could just keep coming here on Fridays and, saving all your best conspiracies for me. Yeah. I will take that too, bro. So.
Well, next time I want to get into, hopefully there'll be less pressing and crazy, recent news, but next time I want to get into, taking a look back into an alternative chronology and a different history that they don't really teach in schools. That's my little for next time.
So AJ says post broad topics and then see what hits best and focus on there. It's a long game. Trust me. I know. He definitely knows, bro. That's Bleacher Brothers over there, man. They are if you want to know anything about them, he does a great job. Check them out. They're all sports. They're like the sports wing, and I am I'm the political wing, but he's awesome. So he says, can't get down. You can't get down on yourself. This isn't a game where you could get one view goes up. If you're gonna go ride the roller coaster, this is it's not there. He goes, you gotta love what you're doing. The way I see it is every loss puts me closer to a win. When you son of a bitch, this fucking Facebook. When you lose a bunch in a row, it just means you have a wicked winning streak coming soon. And that's what it's about, bro. I gotta tell you something. You can't have that frame of mind around me. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to push it right at you because, dude, there's no defeat in our world. There's none. Why? There's only winning. This is fucking Charlie Sheen shit. Listen, the new Charlie Sheen, I don't like the reformed fucking Christian Charlie Sheen. Stop it. I need coke snorting Charlie Sheen off of strippers' asses talking about Tiger's blood and winning. All right. And that's the truth, though. It's uber positivity. Remember something, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell everybody else this as well. You have to talk to yourself in positive manners, because I got to tell you something, Rick. You could do whatever you want to do. You're a smart dude, right? But we talk to ourselves in negative ways. I never dog myself, never. And I don't. The world's going to dog you. Why are you going to dog yourself? I talk myself up. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I look fucking good. You somehow got better looking. And now I'm getting older, so it's not true. But I don't care. I'm telling myself that. It used to be true. Every day I would get better looking. But now it's like I'm getting older. But you know what I'm saying? I tell myself I can do this. Yes. Even with the baby. Because the baby, we're stuck in no mode. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's the baby's touching everything and you're always going, no, no, no. But I try to make it a point anymore to when I say no to him and then he listens, I go, yes, yes, that's what I want. Yes. Because I want the positive, dude. I don't want to focus on just the no. I want to push the yes, right? Because it's operant conditioning. Where's the reward? If it's always no and it's always punish, where's the yes reward? Dude, you got to reward yourself, man, because the reward might not be now. The reward might be 2 years, 3 years, 10 years from now. You never know when it's going to pay off. You never know when, and who knows, 6 months from now, who knows what happens if fucking Tucker calls me? Can you imagine that shit? I'm going to go immediately into my bathroom. I'm going to beat one off, and then I'm going to fucking, talk to him, because that's the God's honest truth. It's going to be like, yes, but you don't know what's going to fucking come of this. You have no idea. But if that happens, I want to be able to at least put myself in positions to be rewarded, right? So, dude, I say go for it, man. Take the time, stay up the extra 2 hours. Don't go to sleep till 12 o'clock and fucking beg something out, and then do it again, and then do it again. And next thing you know, you have 100 of them. Let's see where it goes, bro.
Thank you.
I think you got it. That's my opinion, bro. Good stuff. AJ says good stuff. Someone needs to buy Mike a new mirror. Oh, fuck, come on, dude. You don't know this? I got that mirror from what was that? Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? And it says, Michael Caldarise, you are definitely the fairest podcaster of them all. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. Definitely, AJ. Everyone check out the Bleacher Brothers, man. They do a great job, especially with sports, and baseball's coming up. So I love listening to them about baseball, football, everything. I'm
a steamhead, man. I love fantasy baseball. I'll listen to his podcast, sure.
Dude, he's great. Yeah, Bleacher Brothers. They have big shows, man. They were live during football season, right before I was going on. I was coming on right after them, so they were doing like a lineup with the coaches report. I think they had like a 5, 6, 7 o'clock. And then I came in at the 8 o'clock, right. You know, it wasn't. I'm not like on their channel, but it was like, you know, it was boom, 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 boom. So it was good. It was really cool. Awesome. But also great people. But listen, Rick, man, any last words, bro, for the audience? We went a little bit over here.
Yeah, no, for tonight. Thanks for having me again. I really hope that people can watch their screens with discernment, not lose sight of, you know, the bigger picture, and realize that we're all actually on the same team. Doesn't look like it, might not sound like it, depending on what they look like or language they speak, but we really are all on the same team, and we got to start helping each other out ASAP.
I can't say any better than that, Rick. Let me tell you something, guys. Hey, everybody, Rickpedia. Listen, guys, part of you know, I tell you this all the time, man. Part of being a caltrop is having these conversations. It is having the conversations that, you know, it's a little philosophy. I like conspiracies because it's a thinking exercise, like philosophy. They're thinking exercises. We have to get our brains thinking. We cannot just be NPCs. We have to get our brains thinking. And you know what? When you start thinking about stuff, sometimes you go overthink things, but whatever. But that's why conversations like this are so important, bro. Because you never know what's going on. And then we can keep, like, one of the things I noticed, because there's things that happen in towns and the country that things get done and people hope nobody notices. Okay. And noticing the little things and then being able to look at it and say, oh, okay, well, this is coming, right? So it's like the egg farms. If we notice that fire now and then we start seeing it 6 months from now being blamed for things like we were saying, it's like if we didn't notice the egg farm burning, we never would have noticed that comment. And everything that these powerful people are trying to do, they're trying to do in anonymity, and they're trying to do in secrecy. They hope nobody pays attention. They hope you don't figure out until it was too late. And then once it's over, once it's done, and they got their grubby little fucking fingers in it, it's game over for everybody. And how you become a caltrop is do what Rickpedia does. When he gets his page started, Rickpedia, I hope everybody follows you, man. And do, you know, do what a caltrop would do. That's ask questions, think, and protect yourself from your own self. That's really what I'm trying to portray, everybody. It's like we are our own worst enemies, and we have to guard ourselves from ourselves. We have to keep each other accountable. And like what Rick said, we are all together in this. It's all of us. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. It is the regular ass people versus the powerful people that are making the regular ass people look bad and suffer all at the exact same time. Everybody, I love you guys. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you bright and late at Monday, obviously 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys very much. Again, figure the fuck out of my like button. Share this. This caltrop is out. Later.
the cow trap. Cow trap. And every morning.
Oh,